on Police 10-7.
Dog handler Keith Mitchell and Zorba chased down a guy who's attacked a service station attendant.
This gentleman here holding him back, and he digged him once, and he had a good go at me. He digged me about 20 times.
South Auckland police have to deal with baseball bats and gun threats as they try to keep the peace in Mangere. And Jenny takes exception to being told she's too drunk to drive. It's Friday night on the streets of Hamilton and it's business as usual. Officers have been called into a drink driving checkpoint to remove an out-of-control teenager. Nobody's sure where Jenny thought she was going, but this certainly isn't a taxi ride home. By the time they get her to the station, Jenny's quietened down and her friend seems resigned to his fate. But the fights are still going on back in town.
Comms now, what's the story there? Roger, in 10-7 about 10 seconds.
Dog handler Keith Mitchell's been called to a fight outside a nightclub where a couple of guys have attacked the bouncers and punched Constable Shelley Reedy in the face.
Can someone talk to those two bouncers there, the one in the purple tie, and this other guy, and get their details? When we arrived here, when we arrived here, there was two guys fronting up wanting to have a fight with the bouncers. We just pulled up and jumped out, and then as we were trying to put those two guys in the car, that girl in the thing that punched me in the face, and then she got my cuffs twisted around my hand.
Did they say it?
Oh, they were helping me.
Shelley is nursing a sore jaw and crushed hand, but it's the people who started the fight who are making the most noise.
This is police brutality. Police brutality, man.
No, that's bad, man. She stays out of it. She's all right. That's bad. That's so bad, man.
What was it?
Oh, she punched me in the face.
Who did?
Punched me in the face and...
The scene is chaotic, but police eventually round up the four people involved.
Come to the police station and pick me up.
Touch me up.
They come to the police station and pick me up. My baby. All right, check this one.
With four of the group under control, a 111 call comes in about two of their friends who've committed a serious assault at a nearby garage.
We're looking at a male and a female. Male is part Maori, female Caucasian, both early 20s. They're in a vehicle, Toyota Hilux surf coloured grey. Come into the service station, very violent screaming coming from the informant. The line is now disconnected.
Coming, about 10 seconds away.
As Keith Mitchell heads towards the service station, the suspect's vehicle suddenly speeds towards him.
Comms out of that vehicle's doing a run up grade. Sorry, he's just heading up towards Abby's police station. They're going up Clyde.
At speeds in excess of 110 kilometres per hour, Keith and another police car give chase. As the lead chase vehicle, Keith tries to maintain a commentary on progress, but it's difficult to concentrate on driving at these speeds and handle the radio.
Thanks, that eye down. You can take over the commentary, please. day.
The driver ahead has realised that he can't get away in his car and is headed for home. But as he pulls up, he decides to make another dash for freedom, and Keith Mitchell's dog Zorba is quickly in pursuit. As police hold one of the offenders in the car, out in the field Zorba has chased the other one down and his jaws are now firmly clamped on the man's clothes.
Good boy. Yes, good boy. Go back, go back. Yes, good boy, good boy. Did you get the other one?
She's in the car, I just thought you were
No, no, you're right, mate. Where you go? No, he's not going anywhere.
As the man continues to struggle, Zorba holds on until Keith can get handcuffs on the offender.
Man, come on! On your back!
Good boy.
Hands on your back! I'm going! Let me do it!
That's not SXTT. Come, heel. Good boy. Eh? Yeah, he's around the corner, mate. Thanks for that.
With the man finally under control, Keith Mitchell goes back to question his girlfriend.
Whose car is it?
It's his car.
Why did you run away?
I didn't, I stayed here.
Why did he run away in the car?
No, ask him.
Don't take that attitude with me.
The man has tried to run from the police in his own car. He's gone straight to his own house and then he's tried to outrun a police dog. It's at this point that the first sensible thought occurs to him.
Whose car is it?
Mine,
Why'd you run?
because I didn't want to get caught, and if I got away, I wouldn't have been of a charge.
Oh,
You know?
right fella, eh? You've been in
I'm
trouble
straight
once
up,
before.
I'm straight up. You know, if I didn't get caught, it wasn't a charge. If I did, it was a charge. So I took the chance.
Whose car's it?
Mine.
And you think you wouldn't get caught?
Well, you know, chased me my RX-7 over there. It won't catch me.
While Alan still hasn't quite understood that escape was impossible, he's got more bad news to come.
What's the excessive speed ticket? Is that by 50k, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that sees the car an automatic loss of licence, isn't it?
I could always argue that.
In order to prove that the car had been driven at excessive speed, Keith will need confirmation from another officer involved in the pursuit.
I was going to say, what speed were you doing?
I was doing, we were doing no more than 90 down.
Because if he's exceeding by 50, then we can take the car anyway, straight off, can't we?
Yeah, well, it was dangerous driving, at least
Yeah,
reckless
absolutely,
driving,
yeah,
so I think we
yeah.
can take it into that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, I'll get Kylie to get the thing towed. Yeah, take the car.
With the offenders on their way back to Central, Keith Mitchell's off to get statements at the service station.
Currently, the four-wheel drive was reported as a 1K driver. Somebody has followed them into the service station. A fight has ensued. The attendant has stepped in.
Four-wheel drive pulled up on the forecourt, and this gentleman here, the guy was drunk. Gentleman here walked out and was trying to get his license plate number. Guy walked up to him, grabbed him by the scruff of the neck. I walked out and said, look, I don't need this crap, and the guy just came up to me and started decking me around the head about 10 times. And his girlfriend decided she'd kind of come in and give a hand. So I had a few bouts from her as well. And they drove off. I started trying to push the four-wheel drive off, and because it wasn't obviously starting. And they couldn't get it started, so they pushed it back around. I ran out the back and called the cops. And then he decided he'd jump out of the four-wheel drive and sprint inside and give another go. So he smacked me over the head. I mean, I'm a big guy, and he bowled me down, smacked me over the head. I had this gentleman here holding him back, and he decked him once, and he had a good go at me. He decked me about 20 times, 10 or 15 times in the head. And if this guy wasn't holding him back, I don't know what would have happened, because he was fully going pretty hard nuts at me out the back there.
According to another witness, the girl in the car had used the fight as a chance to steal some bread.
Oh yeah, the van rolled back this way. They came back. She got out of the van. The black dog was in there. I thought they were going to get that out and bring it in the shop and turn it on everybody. They got some bread out of there. threw some bread and there were six loaves of bread.
Did she do that as well? Or
No,
just
she done it.
Oh, okay.
Right, you know. And then they came in the shop and they smashed everyone over.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy in the petrol station.
Yep.
You know.
Bit freaked out, but yeah, it's part of the job, I suppose. Yeah, not really, but this shit does happen. And apparently they got away with a few loaves of bread in the process, so yeah, apparently the cops caught them down the road, so it's the main thing. I'm going to lay assault charges and hope the bastards get everything they get.
Back at the station, Alan's still complaining about being caught by Zorba the dog, but he's only received a few scratches.
Scratches?
No, I can adopt onto that one.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens with this anyway. Yeah,
Alan was found guilty on 3 charges of assault, as well as reckless driving, excess blood alcohol, failing to stop and failing to appear in court. He was sentenced to 3 months in prison and disqualified from driving for 2 years. And after the break, police are back in South Auckland, hunting for a man with a gun.
You're in the white sweatshirt. Lie down. Put your hands on your head and cross your feet.
Make it Ferguson and Massey Road end of
South Auckland constables John Chappell and Peter Ott are on their way to deal with a brawl that's broken out in Mangere.
Just had another call from a member of the public. There's 20 people throwing bottles at each other, so we're going to go into the scene first, just have a quick look. If it's unsafe for us to go in by ourselves, then we'll hold back and wait for our backup to arrive.
If it's really bad, then back up. Is your car, Aaron?
This is an area well known to police. They're here most weekends. This time there's plenty of people around, but no immediate signs of a fight.
Comms OI 107 Chadwick.
No, I think just go through.
Temple, sorry?
Sorry, we can how
Yeah, approximately 10 on the street. Nil seen fighting at this stage.
As more police arrive, a vehicle that's been attacked drives around the corner and heads for safety behind the patrol car.
Throwing bottles.
And then the fight sparks back into life.
Comms OI.
Back in the 25th August this year. Code of Party 113, E number 348865.
Sprite.
348865 over.
In spite of the pepper spray, the brawl carries on and John Chappell retreats to the car.
Keep going, mate.
As they pull back to safety, another officer appears to be heading into trouble.
Mark, stay here, Mark, mate. Stay here. Yeah, I sprayed you here.
Someone had someone running around on their deck about an hour ago. And P number 348863. 348863.
The arrival of Sergeant George Whanamanu with more officers and protective riot gear means that police can begin to take control of the situation.
Squad would advance it to double. Move!
It's raining steadily as officers move in and bottles start flying through the air. The brawl had started between two groups at a party at the other end of the street. George Whanamanu plans to separate them and then get everybody off the road.
Get back inside your house. We don't want you out here. You guys will be next. Or you guys, you'll be next back inside the house. Don't go on the street. Back inside the house. Line up against me.
With one house under control and with the Eagle helicopter circling overhead, the team moves down to the party where it had all started.
Off to the right, and it's pretty much straight ahead. Okay. So you know the way. Lead him down.
Alright, we'll go down and around to it. Squad with violence. It's double. Move! Go around here. Move! Left right.
And by the time they reach the scene, most of the people have left.
You guys hold the line here, we'll get a word.
Each side is blaming the other for the fight, and all police can do is make sure that it doesn't all flare up again.
Squad with advance, double. Move!
Managed to separate the two parties. They're all back in their houses now. We're going to stick around for a little while, just make sure that things don't erupt again.
There were no more problems that night, but the next morning one of the men involved in the brawl was stabbed and tension in the street continued. It's a wet Wednesday night and Detectives Dion Blair and Michael Stevenson are responding to yet another disorder call in Mangere.
Roger, Gates Crescent, 10 to 15 teenagers congregating in the middle of the street. Some have cricket bats, there's no problems at the moment, possibly just psyching each other out.
As they approach the scene, reports are coming through that a gun's involved and the trouble spread to a neighbouring street.
It appears that things have escalated to the point where shots have been fired and one person is down, so it sounds as if it's fairly nasty, so we're going to go to a safe arrival point and then we'll need to assess things from there, but certainly from the sit rep at this stage it seems as if things are fairly serious.
At this stage, just one person has reported someone's been shot and they were on the ground, they're making a lot of noise at this stage.
The escalation of the situation from baseball bats to guns has brought a swift response from police, who've already cordoned off the area and established a safe arrival point.
Okay, Mike.
As they begin to move in, reports come through that the two rival groups are no longer fighting.
There's about 4 people at another house across the road, and there's about 20 at 77. But they're still holding weapons, possibly fence palings or sticks. It appears that parties are now talking, not fighting them.
Yeah, comms UKC, and here in UKC there's a large group of people on the bend. There certainly at this point visually doesn't appear to be anybody down. They're all just sort of milling about, nobody seems too concerned, no one at this stage visually down, copy.
But though there's no fighting and nobody appears to have been shot, there's still the possibility that one of them has a gun.
Stop there. Shoot up and turn around.
Armed police have taken up positions beyond the suspect address, and Michael Stevenson moves in to provide cover while the search for a gun continues.
All of you, put your hands on your head.
You have the white sweatshirt. Come forward. Stop there. Lift your shirt up and turn around. Walk over to the opposite side of the road. Hands on your head. Keep going. Stop there. Lie down. Sit on your heels. Cross your feet.
With the situation under control, police move in to take the suspects away. So far, they haven't discovered any weapons, but Dion Blair's found a witness who's adamant that a gun was being waved around.
And when you said he was going like this, you're indicating that he had a piece. Did you? How much of the piece did you see? What did see the long bit? Yeah. What did it look like to you? A shotty or just a normal? Like a pistol? Probably gas. You didn't see enough of it to be able to say whether it was a slug or a real gun? I know what a slug was. And did that look like a slug? Yeah.
Shane Rice claims the gun was being carried by a member of a rival group from a neighbouring street, and he offers to show police where they live.
Yeah, you can. Yep.
That house over there with the white van?
Yep. Oh,
yeah, I think there's some of them there.
Okay. You can just stay put here, mate, so they can't see you. Okay?
I don't really care if they see.
Okay. What are some of the other
The
guys?
people at the house readily admit that they've been roaming around, but nobody's owning up to the gun.
Hey, the reason we're here is because of the palaver that went down at Tennessee. You guys were all down there. Yeah. Where's he was with you when you were down there, though? Oh, yeah. But was with you at some stage of tonight, am I right? Yeah. Well, apparently he took a slug down or something down there tonight. It's just that what ends up happening, mate, is that a whole lot of people get really excited because you've got these big collectives of people going down and thinking that somehow they live in the Bronx in America. It's not quite like that, eh? South Auckland's a happy, culturally sensitive sort of a place. And what's happening is you've got people of the same race scrapping one another, throwing bottles and just generally carrying on. I need to make sure that you haven't committed any offences down there because you're not quite out of the woods yet. All right? Well, you went down there to have a fight. How positive are you that he didn't have an air pistol with him?
Very.
Okay. Do you think if he had taken some sort of air pistol with him, you would have known about it?
Yeah.
In the end, police found no evidence of a gun and no arrests were made. And for guiding the police to their doorstep, Shane Rice had to go through a torrent of abuse on his way out of the street.
Why you want to turn back to your own family?
You know, we're dealing with guys that seem to think that, well, they don't have any real consequential responsibility over the whole thing. You know, this is usually, I feel sorry for the people that live in these neighbourhoods that are just trying to get on with life, and you're dealing with these young guys that seem to get a little bit confused. They think they're living in a far worse, slummy neighbourhood than what they are.
Next week on Police 10-7, we're on patrol in Hamilton when Constables Tyra Jacobson and Peter Kana try to break up a fight in the main street.
Use your head, okay? Think a wee bit, settle down, get onto the pavement, get off the road, get off the road.
South Auckland Police are called in when a party goes out of control.
He is going to be dead meat.
And Hamilton Constables Craig Chaplow and Chantel Berry have the pleasure of meeting Derek.
You get in your car, come and talk to us over here.